And welcome to the morning news right here on TV3. We are coming to you live from the John Hammond Street of Accra. We are also streaming live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. My name is Safwa Bwahine. Now coming up this morning. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources initiates steps in a bid to move out all illegal miners from forest reserves and on water bodies. Interior Minister renews curfew in Bawku following renewed clashes in the area. Also, Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana demands immediate investigations into named pharmaceutical importers allegedly responsible for importing highly dangerous opioids into the country. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Let's settle for the details now. The government is not relenting in its efforts to bring an end to illegal mining. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has initiated steps in a bid to move out all illegal miners from forest reserves and on water bodies.
For months, illegal miners took over portions of all 6 forest reserves within the Curfew Forest District in Ashanti region. Attempts by forest guards to move them out were unsuccessful. Several hectares were destroyed to pave way for the extraction of gold, particularly within the Offin Shelter Belt, Asinanyo, and Jimira forest reserves. But government, in a renewed effort to reclaim all Ghana's water bodies and forest reserves, has begun clamping down on these illegal miners. A joint police-military team deployed to the Offin Shelter Belt Forest Reserve seized 15 excavators and arrested some of the miners.
My message to our young people who want to do mining is that there's a pathway for doing the right mining. But we are not going to spare anybody who ventures to do illegal mining in our forest reserve, and we've made it clear. In the coming weeks, you will see steps being taken by the Minister of Environment, Science and Technology to Parliament, basically forever repeal 2463, taking away even the power of the President to grant anybody licenses to mine in forest reserve. Having reclaimed this shelter belt on the Offin is to all of the thugs that are in all the other 43 forest reserve. We are coming to you. We are coming after you.
In compliance with a directive by President Mahama on the handling of seized excavators, the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Security Council, Dr. Frank Amwakwene, has this to say.
His Excellency the President instructed clearly that we should not burn them or damage them. They will be put to good use to make sure that we use the machines to support the work at the municipals and at the various district assemblies. So we add them to the drip pool of machines that will be used for road construction, among other sanitation issues within the districts.
To be successful in the fight this time, the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry says site owners and financiers of the illegal activities would be fished out and prosecuted. The question that many are asking is how sustainable would this operation be? Because over the years, we've seen similar operations, but it ended up failing. This time around, the public is expecting to see a sustained effort and for the first time winning the battle against these illegal miners. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Amiafutu, Nkawie, Ashanti region.
Away from the Ashanti region, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Mutala Mohammed, says government is committed to creating the enabling structures for female students studying science, technology, engineering and mathematics in the country. Speaking at the 2025 Quality Week celebration of the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research on the theme, Sustaining Equality Culture, the minister noted the move will help promote research as well as give more girls an opportunity to develop their potential in the world of science. We apologize for that, but we'll definitely bring you that story later. But moving on, the Interior Minister has, by executive instrument, renewed the curfew on Bawku municipality and its environs in the Upper East region, which took effect from Monday, February 24, 2025. The Minister, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, has revised curfew hours from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. And in a statement released on Monday, the ministry urged chiefs, elders, opinion leaders, youth and residents to exercise restraint amid ongoing challenges and to prioritize peaceful resolutions to conflicts. Additionally, a total ban has been placed on the possession of arms, ammunition and offensive weapons within the affected communities. Authorities have warned that anyone found in possession of such weapons will be arrested and prosecuted. President John Dramani Mahama, in his first week as president, visited the Bawku traditional area to engage the leaders of the two gates as part of efforts to halt all forms of aggression and fighting. Otumfuo has also started mediation talks to find lasting solution to the bloody clashes that has lasted for decades. Taking you to the Savannah region, Savannah Regional Minister Salisu has led a joint security committee to Bole to engage residents for their support to deal with the unresolved killings in Bole. Speaking to journalists on the visit, the minister emphasized that the regional and municipal security committees will collaborate to unravel the mysteries behind the deaths.
On Saturday, February 8th, the lifeless body of a middle-aged man was found in a big rubbish container near a toilet at Mimpiasam in Bole town with hands and legs tied.
You see behind me happens to be the place where the last body that was allegedly killed and deposited was recovered or retrieved by residents.
His alleged killing brought back traumatic memories of murders some few months ago. This brought the number of unresolved murders in Bole to 23 since 2022.
We were just there and they called that they killed him unexplained. And the people who killed him, we don't know. Up to now, we are still looking up to how we can see those who do that.
Since assuming office as Savannah Regional Minister, Salisu Biaworobe has been emphasizing the need for peace and security in the region. Speaking to journalists after a working visit to Bole on the unresolved murders, the minister indicated strongly that the heightened security intelligence and the type of surveillance to be put in place will provide positive outcomes.
So the regional security architecture and the municipal security architecture are going to put some strategies in place. What I would just call is the assistance of our own people on the ground and the collaborative effort of all and sundry to be able to come up with the perpetrators and deal decisively with them. But anyone who is either contemplating or is engaged in this enterprise, the person can only run but cannot hide. The heightened security intelligence that we are going to deploy and then the type of surveillance that we are going to put in place. No way that such group of people can go unscathed. They must definitely be brought to book. It can only delay, but it cannot stop. And we are looking forward to making sure that we get the best out of this situation.
In July last year, the Ghana Police Service deployed a specialized team to Bole and its surrounding areas to assist the Regional Police Command in investigating 3 reported cases of unnatural deaths over the past 6 months. The experts include a crime scene management team, forensic experts, intelligence officers, and homicide investigators who are in the region to work with the regional command on the case. The youth of the area also staged a demonstration to demand actions by police and National Security Minister.
Let's do some more stories now. The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has charged members of the Council of State to endeavor to work and help shape government policies and ensure equity and transparency. She says the country seriously needs resetting, and the council members' advice to the president should always be in the interest of the Ghanaian people.
The Vice President was speaking at an orientation program for the Council of State members at Peduase.
This reset is not mere rhetoric. It is a pressing demand to overhaul the systems that have hindered our advancement and to create a governance model that is effective, forward-looking, suited to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. The success of this mission is inextricably intertwined with your responsibility to dispel the popular accusation of merely existing to validate predetermined decisions.
She asked that the Council's deliberation be above partisanship.
Your tenure must redefine the Council's role, transforming it from its perceptively passive advisory body into an active institution that anticipates challenges, offers bold recommendations, and demands accountability. This requires engaging proactively, commissioning research, addressing policy gaps, and ensuring government discussions prioritize the national interest over short-term gains.
Chairman of the Council, Edward Do Ajaho, urged members to use their prestige to champion collaboration that will satisfy the Ghanaian people, particularly the youth, and not the political class.
Let us use our prestige and visibility to guide His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and other institutions of state, and reassure the young people of this country that there is a future for them. We must therefore be transparent and collaborative in what we seek to do, and appreciate the shades of opinion and unique insights, as well as the perspectives that may come up at the Council's deliberations on presidential referrals and recommendations to His Excellency the President and institutions of governance.
He says their advice and recommendations to the executive must be credible, and they should at all times speak truth to power.
A report from Evelyn Tingma, our reporter. The Women, Youth, Peace and Security Institute of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center has reaffirmed its commitment to ensure an efficient implementation of their gender policy. At this year's policy review workshop, participants were sensitized on the need to incorporate gender mainstreaming into an organization's practices and culture, as it can lead to a fair, productive system in the workplace.
The training center's decade-old gender policy has ensured that all departments and units consciously mainstream gender into their programming plans and activities with the support of its focal persons. Speaking at the event, the Deputy Commandant for the KAIPTC, Air Commodore David Akron, stated that gender mainstreaming is not just about women, but it is about creating a world where everyone, regardless of gender, has equal opportunities to contribute and to benefit from peace, security and development. The acting director of the Women, Youth, Peace and Security Institute of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Honame Noagbesenu, said they are positive that their efforts towards gender mainstreaming will contribute to national discourse and beyond.
Ghana as a country has different ways, strategies, policies, but also laws in promoting gender equality. And within that context, as part of the KIPTC, even in developing our gender policy, we took cognizance of the national policies. Our constitution actually abhors discrimination, speaks about equality of all persons. And for that matter, this gender policy for us is actually taking a lot of inspiration from the constitution, but also from national laws and policies that support and promote gender equality.
She highlighted on the center's readiness for this year's International Women's Day come 8th March.
the International Women's Day, the theme for that day is actually Accelerate Gender Equality, and the center would be undertaking certain activities to promote that. We will be sensitizing our staff in that regard, but also for us, we would have to ensure that the staff are knowledgeable in different ways of accelerating gender equality.
The Minister of State Designate for Public Sector Reforms, Lydia Lamisi Akanvariba, has called for a national discussion to review the recruitment process within the public sector, stressing the importance of efficiency. She told the Appointments Committee on Monday that with a strong focus on capacity building, institutional strengthening and technology-driven reforms, there will be enhanced productivity and less corruption.
I will be looking at training or capacity building in the public sector. I will be looking at building or strengthening the public institutions. I will be looking at strengthening the way we hire people into the public sector. And therefore, we should have a national dialogue on how to hire and recruit into the public sector. I have been through the public sector for almost 27 years. I have learned that there are people at the public sector, we call them MBA. They do things, they believe that you should do things the way they want you to do. That is bureaucracy. And I think that there should be communication. You communicate the goals, that the reason why you want to change. We should use innovative ways to let them understand that they need to change the way they do things.
Doing some education-related stories now, and the National Association of Graduate Teachers has called for a review of disciplinary actions in senior high schools. It contends this will strengthen heads of institutions to deal with recalcitrant students. President of the association, Angel Kabono, was reacting to the shutdown of the Sokode Senior High School in Accra.
Over the weekend, some students of Sokode Senior High Technical clashed with the community. This compelled management and Ghana Education Service to shut down the school. The Ghana Education Service has since directed investigations into the matter. The National Association of Graduate Teachers in Agrat has condemned the incident. Its president, Angel Kabonu, has requested the Ministry of Education to review the disciplinary actions in schools.
Someone goes to senior high school with a certain aggregate. After first year, the person is not performing. The person did not come to school to learn. And then you say that person should remain there from first year, second year, third year, and go out of the school. So we are not even repeating people for people to re-evaluate themselves. We are not withdrawing people for lack of performance. There is someone, since he came to first year, did not attend classes till he was writing exams at the third year. And when heads of schools want to take disciplinary measures, you tell the heads of schools that the dispensation that we are in, you cannot take measures to withdraw students. We need a total overhaul for the disciplinary regime that we have in our schools.
In a related development, Nagrat has engaged female heads of senior high schools about challenges they face in their schools. The heads of the institutions were drawn from Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta regions. The heads were concerned about the lack of resources to manage the schools. The president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, Nagrat, Angel Kabonu, asked duty bearers to be swift in addressing the resource challenge.
If the head of school could establish a relationship with somebody within the community or people within the community, and establish a relation to the extent that those who can be mobilized to give support to the school, and you place obstacles in the path of the head, then you turn around and come and say, this head or that head is no good to manage the schools.
Head of Gender Desk of Nagrat, Becky Abedu, said the female heads of senior high schools should be strengthened to manage the schools.
Some heads have been found foul of the rules of Ghana Education Service. We've had instances where students have even lost their lives on exit issues, not necessarily being attributed to the heads, but as a head, you have to lead the way for teachers to follow. So as a union, we see it as important that we engage these heads to provide that leadership we know we need in our schools.
The National Intelligence Bureau, NEIP, has detained Yao Danso, an accountant at the National Service Authority, NSA, in connection with the ghost names payroll scandal that has rocked the institution. His arrest follows that of Kweku Ohenejan, the former Deputy Director of Operations at NSA, who was taken into custody on Saturday, February 22, 2025. Gifty Oware Mensah, the former Deputy Executive Director of the NSA, also remains on the run as authorities intensify their search for suspects linked to the fraudulent payroll scheme. Meanwhile, the Intelligence Bureau has also invited former Minister for Railway Development, Joe Gate, for questioning regarding the controversial Ghana Sky Train project. Sources indicate that Gate, who served as Minister for 2017 to 2021, is being questioned as part of ongoing investigations into the feasibility and financial dealings of the ambitious urban railway initiative. This follows earlier reports that other key officials involved in the project have also been called in by NIB. The Ghana Sky Train project was announced in 2018 as a major infrastructure initiative to tackle urban traffic congestion, particularly in Accra. Under Gate's leadership, Ghana signed a concession agreement with Africa Investment AI Sky Train Consortium in 2019 with an estimated cost of $3 billion. However, the project never took off and concerns were raised about its feasibility and financing. Away from that, the Deputy Finance Minister nominee, Thomas Nyakwampim, has urged stakeholders to adopt a non-partisan approach in discussions regarding the domestic debt exchange program bond payments. The SU German legislator stressed the need to focus on the positive impact of the payments rather than politicizing the issue. He says a bipartisan stance will strengthen investor confidence and contribute to the stability of Ghana's financial sector.
Mr. Chairman, yes, we heard that the minister has been able to pay an amount of $6.081 billion owed to our bondholders. And the other good news was that provision had been made for an additional $9 billion plus to pay the debt that will fall due in July. Following this, there have been some back and forth trying to politicize it, but I think that we should rather concentrate on the good news that this sends to the market, the signal that it sends to the market, rather than trying to say that, oh, I mean, we also did this, we didn't do that. I sit at a very disadvantaged position, so Mr. Chairman, this is all I can say about it. Thank you.
Let's bring you our last story now, where the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program says it will refer findings of alleged illegalities and administrative lapses under the previous leadership to the Attorney General for further investigations and possible action. This comes as management ordered the suspension of all staff, citing unresolved employment and legal issues. Noble Crosby, and a reporter, has more in this report.
The program is under scrutiny following a directive to suspend staff of unresolved employment and legal concerns. A memo dated February 21, 2025 from the NEIP management instructed employees not to report to work from Monday, February 24, until issues are fully addressed. Head of Research and Innovation, Caspar Campoli, explained that the move is part of efforts to correct illegalities overseen by the previous administration, including the non-payment of staff social security benefits. It describes the suspension as a temporary measure aimed at restructuring the program.
You can't continue to perpetuating this illegality by saying that you are paying people's salary, but not paying allowance, you're not paying their any contributions. Even the amount that they are supposed to be paid is not even stated on paper. So management decided that the best thing to do is to make sure that this appointments or this employment are suspended temporarily for the restructuring process to come to an end. So it's a temporal measure to make sure that we have space to do the restructuring of the program.
He further noted that some affected staff will be reinstated once the restructuring is complete.
Leadership has changed, but the vision, the focus of NEIP hasn't changed. So definitely some will be brought back anytime soon, based on what is needed to make sure that NEIP is reset to do what His Excellency Dorma wanted it to do. If we need more hands, we'll add more hands to those who have been suspended. If we need to do with 10, we'll do with 10. If you don't need 19, we won't bring 19 people here. Okay. Government is doing with 60. If there's need that we even do 5 people here, we'll do the 5.
Kampoli added that any findings of illegalities or poor administrative practices will be referred to the Attorney General and other relevant bodies for investigations and necessary action.
These are preliminary findings. We'll be referring whatever we'll find here to the Attorney General Department and other bodies that have the mandate to do these things. So on our part, what we see in face value is that certain things are not in line with the best practice that we've accepted as a country. So we think that things have to be done differently. But what will be done with those irregularities, those illegalities that some of the previous administration staff even think that they shouldn't be done because...
Despite the suspensions, he assured that operations at NEIP are ongoing and have not come to a halt.
There are people here working. I am part of the people. We have other departments that are working. So the restructuring process is ongoing.
So you're working, you have an appointment letter?
Yes.
Did they have all the requirements of an appointment
Yeah,
letter?
the CEO appointed me.
Okay. And that's different from how it was before?
Yes.
Noble Crosby and TV3 News, Accra.
That will be all for the morning news right here on TV3. Many thanks for having time with us. But New Day continues right after the break. My name is Safwa Boahini. Do have a lovely day.